A2 video, so watch the previous videos to see what we've done already, but at the minute it's semi-stripped out, getting ready for its first track day really. Some quirks about this car, so weird plastic tray in the back where all the battery and all your tools and everything went in. Obviously we don't really need this now. I don't think I want the battery, I want it behind the passenger seat, keep things a little bit more central rather than behind the axle. Having stuff behind the axle is not the best place for it. Helps your weight distribution but not everything else. But anyway, so this car's built on the Audi space frame, which I don't think really extended beyond this and maybe Audi A8s or something like that. But it means you've got like this weird like box section chassis that goes all the way across, so this is going to make it hard to get the seat where I want it, but I think we're going to probably end up with like a runner here and then drop the seat in. I don't know. So what we're going to do, what this video is about, ignore that. What this video is about is getting a full 3D scan inside the car. I think I might get Harry to fully 3D scan the underneath, but I might wait until I've got some components off. You can scan it, I'll put them on and then you can scan it with the new components, and I think I'll do that. But whether that's part of this video, I don't know. But yeah, very weird, quirky car, like these weird, like, I don't know what's under this one. Yeah, look, that's where everything is. All your fuse board, and I'm assuming that's your central convenience module or something along them lines. Is that the engine? That's under there, it looks like. Engine ECU plugs, that. Maybe it is. I'm not sure, but I've not looked into it. I could have probably looked into it. One thing I have noticed that this one missing, this bung one missing all the time since I bought the car, so that's not ideal. So I need to get a new one of them. I'm going to take a picture to remind myself. So some weird stuff going on. I'm not sure I can get the seat as low as I want to get it because of the dash, or at least the height of the windscreen. The dash is probably the wrong terminology, but I'm going to take the dash out anyway, so that'll stop that getting in your way when you're not in the high driving position, when you're in a bit of a lower driving position. Yeah, very quirky little car. Well, I suppose we'll have a quick look underneath and see if there's all weird going on under there, because it is a bit different. It is based on the, is it PQ24 platform, which is like the B for Fabia Polo. So the back axle looks similar to the normal Fabia B for Polos. The brake pipes come at a different side and stuff. Fuel filter's in a different spot. Bolts on a bit different, because if you look here, I don't know if you can see it, but that's aluminium. It's like a big chunky cast bit of aluminium, and then this like little thing bolts to it, whereas on the Fabia Polo B stuff it's like something that like drops into the chassis. So the chassis is kind of all higher, and then you're higher up again inside, so I'm hoping that doesn't affect the centre of gravity too much. See obviously the weird plastic thing, silly exhaust. The downpipe looks to be about the same shape as the one we already make, but not so sure on that. The hangers definitely look different, so we'll have to have a look at that. Weird steel bottom arms. I'm not sure why in the lightweight car they put steel bottom arms on, there'll be a reason. The bolts that hold the dry chassis are bigger as well, but other than that it's pretty similar. The entry roll bar looks a bit different, but it's the same pretty much. Yeah, very weird, but the plans I've got for it will become clear maybe in the next video. I'm not sure. See how this one pans out. I've got stuff happening all over, not sure how's best to do it. But yeah, let's let Harry do what he's doing, then we'll get back to doing some more interesting stuff with this. Sweet. So I don't know if it fits in with video, but big dashboard, it's quite high compared to windscreen level, I wanted to get my seat sat right down in there, which I'm not sure how it's all going to work yet. Harry has 3D scanned this entire thing, but obviously not with the dashboard art. So let's get this stuff sorted. Get all this out. Let's see, because that's stiff. That. See what we can do. See how much more weight we can take out of this bad boy. All these bolts have come out so far, and we still have a dashboard that's solid. Keep digging. Oh yes. So it's out. Don't look too bad, to be fair. Blank all that off. So I've been told that the non-climate heater box is a lot lighter than this one. Obviously it's not going to have an air con rad in, so I don't need that. So that's the next job, I think, at some point, but not for this one. As long as the blowers work, so we don't get all misted up. Figure out where all this stuff is. What even is that? What is this? I don't know. Ugh, what is it? Weird. Very weird. Figure that out. Sort that out. Don't need that little loom there, that'll be no stereo anymore. So this is a pile of stuff. Some broken pieces, ignore them. That's the dashboard. Put it all together. So there's that stuff. That will go weigh this in a bit. A couple of little bits that are probably worth selling, so I'll leave them there. But I'll weigh them. Then we know what we're taking out. So, tasty parts. Now the dash is out. So I've nicked this off Scott. I'd preferred an Alcantara one, but leather, I don't know if it's real leather. Nicked it off Scott's Porsche. God, oh, it must be real leather, look at that. Made in Italy. Hand sewn leather, must be leather. So yeah, anyway. More deep dish steering wheel. Not as deep as we normally have, but it'll be fine. Pretty big, maybe like a small one, but it was free, I borrowed it, so it'll be fine. Boss adapter, same as a Mark IV Golf, nothing to worry about there. Motor drive seat, so that's the old one out of Scott's car, I believe, because he's got the fancy one in there. And that's the old one out of one of our cars from ages ago. We use it as a passenger seat in the TTs, but not anymore. And then these are the old harnesses. I think that horrible looking one, even though they're the same age, that one came out the RS3 when we got it, but they're out of date now, a couple of years, so no use just for racing, so they can go in these cars for track days and what have you. So let's get sorted for the mounts for the driver's side, and then we'll copy that across to the passenger side and get them bolted in, hopefully. It seems like seconds, but it'll probably be days before we see what's happening here. Right then, back on to seat stuff. So I'm assuming they filmed fitting that because I went here yesterday. I've just secured these up. That's tied up. Don't worry about that, that needs to go up there. We'll sort that out after. But finally, Harry scanned the inside of this, so we'll put a clip of that up if we haven't already. And basically, we figured out where we wanted these to be. So these are the brackets we've made. Oh my god, what am I doing? These are the brackets we've made. So little bits of slots on them. Test fitted them already. So that goes there, notched around there, which is good. Fits on there, around there, and then I don't think we've actually checked the seats, but I'll get these bolted in. If you look, I made the passenger seat a little bit further back than the driver's seat, just so you've got a bit better vision when there's a passenger seat in. And we've made these pretty much the same, because if this car ends up going to the Nürburgring, this is the driver's seat for now, but you can't have that for tourist day, so you'd have to swap the seats around. So anyway, that's that. So let's get these seat bases in, and then we've got to decide how we're going to get the harnesses in. So I've got these for the existing holes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, but that means we've still got 8 holes to make or find or sort out. Got a bit of an idea for the other back one. I think we're going to have to do something around where the seat mounting brackets were, maybe drill the rivets out and make a plate in that.
don't know if we've got time to do it, so I'm hoping we have. Get that sorted. And then the side ones here, and the front ones, really not sure. I could have made something like we did. I could still do it, I suppose, on the S1 where we had like the anti-sub things and you could all go to there, but I didn't want to put too much onto these brackets. Maybe I'm going to have to drill into there and put some captive nuts in. I don't know. I'm going to have a little play, see how much room I've got and decide what I'm going to do basically. So stick with us. Right, so my plan, I'm hoping it's a good plan. Drilled through there, opened that up a bit, dropped a nut in there. Then one's there for knacker strap, as I like to call them, or the middle strap, anti-slip strap. That's original. Drilled into that, dropped a nut in there, done that. I've drilled through to the other side. So I think this might work. It might just work. Absolutely buzzing. Sat in it, happy. So we had to make some little washers up for here. We had some of these cut here, little aluminium ones. Because this seat is actually narrower at the back than that seat, but like I said, I had to swap it over. So there's a little bit of spacers that way to push it all that way. A bit less spacers there, no spacer at that front, none at all on that seat, so they fitted absolutely perfect. The seat's a little bit further back, and you don't want that much further back from here, but it is further back. Anyway, so hopefully that don't mean that's further for it, but anyway, yeah, could probably lean that one down a little bit, but anyway. So the other thing left to sort. Now, YouTube can tell me if this is a bodge job or not, but I think it should be alright. So we need them. Leave them there. So what I'm thinking is, turn, oh, sorry everybody, aiming at the wrong place. Turn one of them nuts down so it just fits in there. Maybe leave a little hat on top so it doesn't drop out in and causes problems. And then TIG weld around that, because that is magnetic, I've checked. So just clean that up, drop that in there, little UNF nut, bolt that in there. I think that'll do us. I think that is the only way to do it for now. Saves us messing about taking tanks off and everything. So, do we think this is strong enough? I think it's strong enough. Nobody else seems to be worried. So they're all fitted. Absolutely buzzing.
So the interior transformation is pretty much complete, really. I think at some point it's going to be in a roll cage, whether it gets a full roll cage or just a rear hoop, I'm not sure. I think if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right and put a full one in, so we'll sort of work our way around that as we do the next round of modifications. But I have been driving this a little bit with the seats in and it just feels perfect. The seating position's absolutely fine, really like that. I do want to change the shifter and get a bit better, maybe a little bit higher and make that a little bit shorter and a bit less making noises. Steering wheel, I think I'm going to swap that for a suede one because I've got one now, so I might swap that at some point. Probably need to paint everything black that's shining onto the windscreen because that does get a bit distracting. But yeah, the seat position, steering wheel to the pedals, everything feels really nice. The harness is all in nice. And if you stick around, you're going to definitely see us driving this on track. But the next video is pretty much going to be the real hard stuff underneath, get the suspension, the brakes and all that sorted. So stick around to watch that, and hopefully you're enjoying this little segment because I'm enjoying this one as well.